I know right now that you are looking into a career in education. You have you're on the ballot on June 9th for Clarke County.
Yep.
So like, why now? Why this switch into politics for you?
Well, so I've always been interested in politics ever since the 2015, and we were watching, coming into the 2016 elections and things like that. And to touch back on the thing is that, I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted for Donald Trump, and people called me that I wasn't a real woman, that I wasn't for women. And I'm like, well, that's not true.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is that I think politics in general is shifting, and we need newer voices. We need younger voices to come in and be like, listen, like, we've done it your way. Let's do it our way now. Let's just try it a different way. And let's kind of go back to either the basics, or let's just go back to a wholesome thing. So with me going into education, I really, I have a daughter. I want her into the best schools possible. I believe in school choice, and I don't want my school dictated by the zip code I live in. Right. And I want to choose how my tax dollars get spent on her. And so my biggest thing is that if we are going to complain about how public officials and elected officials act, then we have to be able to and be willing to step up to the plate as well and try to enforce change. So everyone can criticize when they're not the one on the bench, right? Because when you get on the bench, your perspective does change. So I think that even as leaders, there are things going on behind curtains that we just don't see as civilians. And I think that that's important for us to get behind the curtain so that we can see that stuff.
Absolutely. And no matter.
Oh, sorry. You put yourself as a new conservative. So on your website, you say you're running as a new conservative. What does that mean? Because Clarke County is primarily Democratic.
Big time.
Yeah. So what do you mean by a new conservative versus the old conservative?
Well, I would say just a new conservative voice is kind of how it's worded and how it's supposed to be inferred. Basically, because the entire board, I mean, it's a nonpartisan board, but you can see where, the board the board of the president board actually endorsed Bernie Sanders without even asking the other board members if they would be okay with that. So basically it's inferred that the Clarke County School District endorses Bernie Sanders, which is fine, regardless if you support him or you don't. Like, I personally don't, but I don't really care either way. People can support who they want, but I think it's that communication gap that we're having, that people don't really understand what's going on. Most people don't know what a school board does. They just think it's just a bunch of people that sit there.
But I also think the thing that you're saying is this new conservative voice. It doesn't matter what your political spectrum is. We need more people, millennials, stepping into public service. And I think that's what you're doing, because that's what we were just saying 5 minutes ago with the social media tech companies. There's no millennial representing us. So we're having all these old hags that are going to be making all the rules and laws for us. I'm not about it. I think it's crazy. So, I mean, kudos for you for representing the children out there, because that was something I totally thought it was. I totally thought it was because you have your daughter and education's so rich for her. And I understand that you want that strong connection for her. And I think that's a beautiful thing, Katie.